You are about to enter the strange part of fanfiction. Viewer discretion is advised. Wear your headphones or earbuds, close your eyes, and let the imagination flow as we journey into some lemons. Let's read the first one, shall we? This one is Benjamin X-Rater. Lemon, of course. Created by Yoshi Nerd 01 on Wattpad. You lie in your bed watching as your boyfriend Ben played your video games. You've gotten tired of playing since it was around 1 in the morning and you've been playing Call of Duty and many others all day. So you decide to just watch him. He was playing one of the new Zelda games, as usual. Hey Ben? He says without taking his eyes off the screen. Do you ever get tired of playing these types of games all the time? He shakes his head and continues playing the game. You roll your eyes at him. You swore nothing could part him from his games. You tried everything, like trying to get him to do other activities, or even just talking to him to see if he'd ever pay attention to you, but nothing worked. Well, there was one thing you haven't tried. You wondered if it would work on him now. You sit up and move to the edge of the bed closer to him. Nothing. You slowly ran your fingers up and down his arm. Nothing. You leaned in and kissed up his neck and around his jawline. He finally turns towards you. What are you doing? You rest your chin on his shoulder, trying to get your attention. Why? You sit back up and give him an "Are you serious?" look. Because all you do is play video games and pay no attention to me, you say, turning your head around from him, getting off the bed and heading towards the door. You hear the background music to his game silence, and suddenly you get turned around by him. He pushes you up against a wall with a smirk on his face. I thought you knew that was one of my favorite things other than you, he whispers. Well, yeah, but wait, what? He cuts him by roughly kissing you. Your eyes at first widen, but then you soon relax into the kiss. His hands suddenly moves up your shirt, caressing your soft skin, getting closer and closer to your chest. You quickly pull away. Ben grabs one of your wrists and holds it above your head. I thought just a while ago you were trying to get my attention, he says, as his hand continues to make its way to your chest. You squirm out of his grip and try to and take a few steps away from him. He lets out a growl, and just then the power goes out, leaving you and him in a room full of darkness. Your breath hicks as his bright red glowing eyes turn towards you. He chuckles, and within a flash he was right in front of you, forcing you back against the wall, this time holding both of your wrists above your head. He leans back and kiss you again, but slipping his tongue in, as his hand made its way back up to your shirt, but this time unclasping your as well. As he moves closer to you, you feel his erection brush against your thigh. Then stop, you breathe out as he begins kissing your neck. What makes you think you can actually stop me? I have a big problem, and you're going to fix it. You try to get out of his grip once again, but fail. Go fix it yourself, you yelled at him. He leans in closer to your ear. I can't. He grips your thigh. It wants to be in a place warm, dark, and wet. Can you guess what it is? He lets out a chuckle. Just then, everything in you changed. You were starting to like the sight of him, and you had no idea why you gave in. He let go of your hands, which you instantly wrapped around his neck, and he grabs your thigh, bringing them up to his waist. He kisses your neck again, this time finding your sweet spot. Why did I ever tease you? You whisper. He pulls away, looking back into your eyes, smirking, while his sharp nails dug into your thighs. I don't know, but you shouldn't have done that. His smile widens and you roll your eyes. He pulls you off the wall and setting you down on top of the dresser. He lifts your shirt off your head and you're already unclothed raw, throwing both to a random corner of the room. He went right back to kissing your neck again, sucking and biting at the sensitive flesh, making sure he left a mark. He unbuttoned his pants, since he wasn't wearing his usual link-out costume for once, then lifted your feet until they came up to his waist, dragging his pants down until they fell down to his ankles. His hand roughly gripped your exposed while he didn't notice your hand traveling from his neck down his stomach and right above his member. You ever so slowly stroked it through the fabric, listening to his groans as his red pupils began to glow even brighter. As he did this, he took off your pants as well, rubbing your through your torturing you the same way you were doing to him. Ben rubbed you slowly up and down your putting slight pressure on your entrance. Also feeling your wetness, he leaned close to your ear, nibbling at it. You're so freaking wet for me, aren't you, psycho? He almost melted at his words. He continued to torture you, still rubbing you, rolling and squeezing your while sucking at your neck. But that soon stopped as he quickly took off his shirt and pulled his boxers down. Your hand went down to wrap around his member again. You slowly pumped, clenching and unclenching your fist, listening to his panting. It drove him wild, his head thrusting to meet your hand and a bead of sweat dripping down his face. He growled and took your hand away, once again pinning them above your head. He pulled your off, now leaving both of you completely naked, and teased you again by rubbing you up and down with his finger, but never entering your You breathed heavily, watching as he looked at your flower with that smirk on his face. He pushed his finger in your entrance, stroking your walls, thrusting in and out of you. You let out a moan, curling your toes and throwing your head back as two fingers joined in, and his began rougher and faster. You thought you were going to die from pleasure until he pulled out. I can't take this anymore, he whispered, before lifting you off the dresser and back against the wall. He guided his member to your entrance, but never entering. Say my name, he demanded. Ben, you breathed out. He swirled the tip of your entrance, still refusing to enter. Louder, he evilly chuckled out. Ben, you yelled. He applied slight pressure. Louder, dang it, he growled. Will you just you yelled as he plunged deep inside of you, finally completely in. He stopped. You sure you want this? You nodded quickly, hoping he'd just continue already. I don't think you can handle it, he whispered teasingly, making small thrusts inside you, barely moving. I think I could, he said in a jeering yet helpless tone. I'm glad you said that. He gripped onto your thighs, digging his nails into them, before drawing his hips back, until the head was the only thing still inside. Then he looked up at you. Don't hold back, he grinned. There was a small pause before he slammed back into you, causing you to scream out in pleasure. He let go of your thighs, reaching for your arms again, throwing them back against the wall to the side of you. When he wrapped your legs around his waist, he leaned his head down, slowly licking your his eyes on you the whole time. He gulped hard, biting your lip till it bled, trying so hard not to moan, which was almost impossible at that moment. But you knew what he wanted you to do, so you were going to make him work harder for it. He noticed this, and him always needing to get what he wanted, took one of your mounds in his mouth and began sucking at it, biting and pulling at that hard. Just then Ben slowed his thrusting down, wanting you to start begging again. Ben, faster. He raised an eyebrow, smirking. Sorry, what was that? Harder, Ben, harder. He only slightly picked up the pace. Oh, you want hard? You nodded. I'll give you freaking hard. He growled before grabbing your thigh again, lifting you off the wall and slamming you into another one, going even deeper than before. He let out something in between a yelp and a moan. You panted, watching his hips thrusted into you and sweat trickled down his forehead. He looked up at you and smiled. His hand moved from your thigh to in between your legs, rubbing your Well, he fricked you hard. I can't take this anymore, he said before lying down on your bed, pounding harder and faster into you than before. He spread your legs more, since he couldn't really do that before, accessing your G-spot, causing you to give out louder moans. Now that's what I wanted to hear. He hit the spot over and over again. You let out one last moan as he came all over his hard member, but he wasn't done yet. Oh no. He felt that you already came, but he kept going, pounding you into you again and again, going at inhuman speeds. He gave you one last pound before quickly pulling out and cum on your stomach. You panted as he felt the hot, thick liquid seep down your sides onto your bed. He leaned down, smiling, and kissed you before collapsing onto the bed next to you. He pulled you close and whispered in your ear, "Was that enough attention for you?" You turned to him and smiled. "Certainly not all the attention I'll be getting, right?" he questioned. "Oh, don't worry. You'll definitely be getting this again sometime." Your smile widened. "Like right now," he added, before getting back on top of you. I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned next time as I read some other CreepyPasta lemons. It's not over yet.